Thomas had been lost in the Crimson Mountains for 3 days. His expedition team was presumed dead, their camp destroyed by an avalanche he had barely escaped. His radio had shattered in the fall. His supplies were nearly depleted. He was preparing to make his final camp when he heard it, a sound like a child weeping, carried on the wind from somewhere deeper in the valley. He shouldn't have investigated. Every survival manual warned against investigating unfamiliar sounds in unknown territory. But Thomas was delirious from exhaustion and cold, and something about that cry tugged at his humanity. He followed it. The creature he found was no child. It was a dragon, a genuine, impossible dragon, no larger than a house cat, with scales the color of molten silver and eyes rimmed with tears. It was curled against a rock face, its small body trembling, emitting that heartbreaking whimper. When it saw Thomas, it didn't flee. Instead, it cried harder, stumbling toward him on unsteady legs. "Please," it said, the word forming in Thomas's mind like telepathy. "Please follow. Follow. Please." The dragon's desperation was absolute. Despite every rational objection, Thomas found himself following the creature deeper into the mountains. The dragon moved with urgency, occasionally glancing back to ensure the human was still there, its movements becoming more frantic. They climbed through narrow passes and across treacherous ridges. The dragon led him to a cave hidden behind a waterfall, a place he would never have found alone. Inside, the air was warm, alive with an energy Thomas couldn't explain. The dragon bounded deeper into the darkness, and Thomas followed. What he found in that cavern chamber was impossible. Thousands of eggs lay in neat spirals across the ground, each one the size of football, glowing faintly with internal light. They pulsed in unison, like the heartbeat of some colossal creature. And in the center of the chamber, collapsed against the stone, was the mother dragon, massive beyond comprehension, her scales dulled, her breathing shallow and strained. The baby dragon rushed to her, nuzzling against her head, still crying. "She's dying." The hatchling's voice entered Thomas's mind again. "The sickness took her 3 days ago. The eggs, they need her warmth, her life force. Without her, they will all die. I am too small. I cannot sustain them alone." Thomas understood with horror what the dragon was asking. The mother was using the last of her strength to keep the eggs alive, but she was fading rapidly. Without help, within hours, thousands of unborn dragons would perish. An entire species, if this was the last of them, would be erased from the world. He knelt beside the dying dragon. Up close, he could see her ribs rising and falling with effort, see the pain in her ancient eyes. She had sent her baby out into the world to find help, to find a creature warm enough, strong enough to hold the eggs until she recovered, or until another solution could be found. Thomas took off his jacket and wrapped several eggs against his torso, holding them close to his body heat. The baby dragon guided him, showing him how to position himself, how to maintain the warmth without crushing them. For 6 hours, Thomas sat motionless, cradling those eggs, while the baby dragon remained pressed against its mother's side. Gradually, the mother dragon's breathing deepened. Color returned to her scales. The crisis passed. When a mother finally opened her eyes and looked at Thomas, he felt something profound move through him. Gratitude, yes, but also recognition. She saw him. She truly saw him. And in that moment, a bond formed that transcended species, transcended the gap between mythological and mundane. "You saved us," the baby whispered. "You saved everything." 3 weeks later, Thomas emerged from the mountains with coordinates to the hidden cave and a story no one would ever believe. He contacted environmental protection agencies, working quietly to ensure the dragon sanctuary remained undisturbed. He returned to visit whenever he could, watching the hatchlings grow, watching the mother dragon regain her strength. The world never knew about the dragons, but Thomas knew, and every night, he could feel the weight of those eggs against his chest, a reminder that sometimes, when you follow a desperate cry into the darkness, you discover that you were exactly where you needed to be. Sometimes you discover magic is real, and sometimes The most unthinkable thing is that you were chosen to save it.